First I'd like to introduce Rob. He's a friend of mine. We've known each other a few years now. We've met in all kinds of different parts of the world where we do these conferences and stuff together. And I've done some training for Rob in Belgium with my son Anthony, and that's been wonderful. Now, Rob runs the European Hypnosis Academy, is that right?
That's correct, and the Hypnosis Center in Belgium, yeah.
Yeah, and Rob's got different centres throughout Belgium, haven't you, I believe? You've got different...
Three different, yeah.
Yeah. And so Rob's a fantastic hypnotherapist. He's also great at... You do magic and mentalism and stuff, don't you?
No.
And I think you're gonna teach us this evening a few things that we can use in hypnosis. Some of the things you use, the mentalism things that you use. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So once again, I appreciate you doing this for us, Rob, and all the people that are watching, all the people that will watch. I know we're all going to get something from it this evening. So I'm going to hand over to you. Enjoy yourself. I've got a pain webinar at 8 o'clock, so if you can keep it till around that time, I'm going to go.
That's great. That's time enough.
Right, great. So I'll hand over to you now, Rob, and thanks again. I'm going to switch myself off. Have a great time, and enjoy everybody that's watching. It's been great. Speak to you in a while.
Okay, so good evening, or maybe good morning if you are somewhere else in the world, or good afternoon or whatever. So my name is Rob. I'm from Belgium, and I have a background in entertainment. So for 20 years, I was working in entertainment. I had my own entertainment company called Joker Events, and we were supplying artists all around Belgium and the Netherlands. And most of the time we were working for children. So I had my own clown show. I had I did stilt walking, fire spitting, actually everything that a client asked or things that we can deliver at events. I learned and I did those things. I had a lot of freelance artists working for me, but after performing for children for so many years, I really got tired of having children in the audience. I really was craving for adults in the audience, because I experienced that when I was doing a performance at we have normally it's this time of the year, those communions, where it's when they are 6 and 12, I guess, and then there were also adults in the audience, and I'm like those type of interactions with adults more than with children. So I was really getting tired of performing for children. So I decided to learn something new, something that I can do for adults. So, and because I can't sing, the options were not that much. So I had the choice to become a stripper or to become a hypnotist. And I choose to become a hypnotist because that career is a bit longer than stripper. So, I started looking around to learn some hypnosis, and my goal was actually just to learn hypnosis to do entertainment. There was no thought in my mind to become a hypnotherapist. I was going to some meetups, I did a little workshop, start reading some books, watching some DVDs, starting to hypnotize people, and then all of a sudden somebody called me and he presented me some DVDs. He said, I watched DVDs from a guy called Jeffrey Stevens. And I said, oh, is this therapy? Is this street hypnosis or stage hypnosis? And he said, no, it's change work. And I said, I don't want to be a therapist. But actually, he convinced me to watch those DVDs. And I decided to try and do some hypnotherapy sessions, because at that time I was already convinced about the fact that you can't become a good hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, whatever you're doing with hypnosis, without hypnotizing a lot of people, especially in the beginning, to get used to it, to get that confident. So, and then there was this little problem in Belgium about entertainment. In Belgium, actually, entertainment hypnosis is illegal. Yeah? It's even not like in the UK, there you have to go and have a license to do a stage show. Here it's illegal. It says in the law that you can't do it. We do it anyway. We are Belgians. We are not so good with rules. Something one of the problems now with the coronavirus as well. we don't obey rules that good. And the thing is, in the Belgian law, it says that you can't hypnotize people and put them on a stage or put them in view of other people. So during the years, I was hired by city governments to do street hypnosis and things. So nobody acts on that very old law. But there is another problem in Belgium, and that's the fact that we have 3 official languages. So we don't have much corporate business in stage hypnosis. So because I had a problem with my children entertainment as well. Sometimes there are companies that we have a party, we want a clown or a stage hypnotist, but we have French speakers, we have Dutch speakers, and maybe sometimes there are some English and also German, because German is also an official language here. Only a very small part of Belgium speaks German, but so it's very difficult to do a hypnosis show in 2 languages, because, and when you do it in English, most of the French speakers are not going to understand it. So that was something, one of the reasons that I start doing hypnotherapy. Now I run a business, as Freddie said, with 7 different therapists in 3 different cities. So we have in my hometown, we have the biggest center where also the school is. And then we have in Antwerp and Ghent, more known cities, probably also for you. There we have also some therapists working over there. I travel the world. I was traveling the world. I had to come back from a tour in Australia because of the coronavirus. And one of the things that I used to get out there and hypnotize people was mentalism, because I was learning at that time, actually the same period as I started learning hypnosis. Because mentalism is also something that you can do for adults, of course. You can do it for children, but it's more for adults. So, because especially in countries like Belgium, when you go out and you say, hey, I'm a hypnotist, is there anybody who wants to get hypnotized? You see them running the 100 meters in like a world record. Because here they are a bit, they hold back, and they are not like in the United States. There I see people who are more willing and say, oh yeah, let's hypnotize, especially when you go to Vegas or something like that. People want to have something funny that they want to do. But here it's a bit difficult. So whenever I tell my students, go out there and practice, then of course there is that little problem, who am I going to practice with? Because it's not a good idea to practice all the time with your own children and your partner, because most of the time they don't see you as the hypnotist. Yes, so maybe they are not following the instructions that good because they are close to you. They dare to not follow your instructions. So it's a good thing to go out there and practice with strangers, because then your confidence as a hypnotist will grow. So I decided when I was going out to bars or pubs to first do some magic or mentalism, just to gain their attention, just to have that whatever people that are sitting there have their attention on me. So I do a little mentalism trick or a little magic trick, and then they start to like you because you did something funny for them. You did something magical for them. So the attention is already there. You already have a connection. There is already a rapport. So, and at that time, it's much easier to go to maybe like a suggestibility test, like the magnetic fingers or whatever. So those are the reasons why I think it's very good to learn a few mentalism tricks. So that's why I wrote my book, Mentalism for Hypnotherapists. And tonight I'm going to talk a bit about the why, of course, and how you can apply mentalism. And I'm also going to demonstrate a trick. The trick that I'm going to demonstrate is actually a trick that I use when I do presentations. So when you, and I can imagine that the people watching this are also sometimes asked to do a presentation about hypnosis. Yeah, and then it's very interesting if you can do something else than hypnosis, something just to introduce you, something to give away your telephone number maybe. And the trick that I'm going to demonstrate and that we are going to do all together, because you can do it this one also online. There's one part of the trick that's a bit tricky to do online, but I will demonstrate it and then I will explain how you can do it. It's very easy, very easy to make yourself. And I will give you also the chance to download the PDF that we are going to use for this trick. So why I think mentalism is also good to know for a hypnotherapist, because when you go out there and you can do a lecture or just in a pub or at a party, you can say, hey, maybe people just ask you, what are you doing these days? And you said, I'm a hypnotherapist. And then they say, okay, yeah, can you show something? Oh, that's nice, hypnosis, can you do something? But then of course, the first thing is, who are you going to hypnotize? So if you can first do a little trick just to get everybody at ease, then it's much easier to get them and to find your volunteer to do a hypnosis demonstration with. So it's a softer approach. So you don't have to go and go to somebody and say, hey, I'm a hypnotist, can I hypnotize you? No, first you can do something else, do some mentalism. It's a gateway to hypnosis. Yeah. I also created a few package tricks. What are package tricks? Package tricks are tricks you can buy, you can open, and you can demonstrate them. So whenever you see me at a convention, come and see me at my booth, and I can demonstrate those package tricks to you. They're all easy. I don't create tricks for magicians, because magicians, they have sleight of hands, they can do all kind of things, and I create tricks for hypnotherapists who don't have that experience doing magic, performing even. So it's all very simple to perform tricks, very easy to learn without any sleight of hand. So that's those tricks, that's what I'm creating. That's the goal of the tricks that I create, to create a gateway to hypnosis. You can also use it in the therapy room. I actually don't use it in the therapy room, because my way of going with clients in the therapy room is already very loose, and I make jokes. I do a lot of swanning, and also with the swan, I do actually some little mentalism with the swan. So it's all, I don't need it in my therapy room, but you can use some of those tricks also in a therapy room. And of course, and especially the trick that I'm going to show you today is very good as an opening or a closing for a talk or a lecture. If you just want to do something else than only talking about hypnosis, but also demonstrate something and maybe use the mentalism to go into a hypnosis demonstration. And I think, and that's maybe a bit off topic, but I think it's really important that every hypnotherapist is also always under all circumstances able to do a good hypnosis demonstration, because you can talk about hypnosis for hours and you can do a very interesting lecture about everything that you achieved and the things that you can do. But 5 minutes of demonstration of a good hypnosis demonstration where you can show people some hypnotic phenomena is so much stronger than whatever you said in those 2 hours. So when you are able to do a demonstration, because people will be amazed, and that is something, a seed that is planted in their brain, and they will remember your name. So also when you're at a party, then you can show something, and then again you can go towards hypnosis, much easier to do. So let's do a demonstration. So I'm going to go to this slide now. So what I actually want you to do now is just concentrate on that slide and put your finger on any cocktail that you like. And in a moment, I'm going to give you a few short instructions. I just want you to follow those instructions. You will end on one cocktail and just keep that cocktail in mind. So what I want you to do first, if you've not already done that, put your finger on any cocktail. What I want you to do now is move to a cocktail, the nearest cocktail, or maybe the farthest away cocktail, with a letter E in it. Okay, now I want you to go vertically to a cocktail with the letter U in it. Now I want you to travel horizontally to a cocktail with the letter O in it. And the last instruction is move your finger vertically to a cocktail with a letter A in it. And now you all end on one cocktail. And I want you to keep that cocktail in mind. And what I want you to do now is you will see that I will share a link in the chat. Just let me. Okay, so now there is a link in the chat. And I want you to go all to that link. It's actually the Facebook page of the European Hypnosis Academy. And before oh yeah, okay, just I sent the link not to the attendees, but only to Freddie. So now the link is in the chat box. Okay, got it. That's good. Okay, what I want you to do now is go all to that link. Okay, and now I want everybody to type now in the chat box the cocktail that they ended on. Okay, I'm curious now. First is coming in, Bloody Mary. Okay, great. So the European Hypnosis Academy Facebook page is already open. So what I want you to do now is go to that, take a look at that page, and you can see that there is my cover picture. I will also show you my screen. And I want you to go here to my cover and take a look at what is there in my cover. It says on the date of today, the 3rd of May, I have a Bloody Mary FredTalk online. So I can see that everybody is on Bloody Mary. Yeah. And let me explain how I did that. I just have to switch something here so that you can. Okay. So what I'm going to explain you is first how I did a force to select Bloody Mary. That's not what I showed, but I'm going to explain how I would do it when I am in front of a live audience. Then why everybody is landing on Bloody Mary, and why I put a prediction on my Facebook page. And while guys, you are all there at my Facebook page, what I want you to do now is for those who not already liked the European Hypnosis Academy, just click on the like button and like that page. You're already there now, so it's easy to like that page. You will get every 2 weeks, I post a video with hypnosis advice, so you will gain something from liking that page. And I see already the likes coming in, so very good. So of course, you already understand why it's important to put a prediction on your Facebook page. But first, let me explain what I normally do when I do this presentation for a live audience. And because of the fact that everybody's hoping that we can go for live audience in the near future, I didn't want to change all the tricks to be able to do online, because actually this is made to do for real people in a room that you can do something. So when I did this in front of a group, first I ask somebody to come on stage or to the front. And then I will do the following with her. So I'm just going to see if I can put it on the camera. Okay, like this. So what I do, and I show this to the audience as well, I show them that I have cards with all different cocktails on, and I read some of them. Yeah. Okay. Cuba Libre, Rum Runner, Mojito, Gin Fizz, Whiskey Sour, Tom Collins, and so on. So that's what I actually do. And then I say, okay, and I just fan the cards. I say pick one card, okay, and of course I can't demonstrate it now, but let's say I pick this card or this card, whatever, yeah, or she, of course, my volunteer picks the card, and the card will say Bloody Mary, and every force will be correct. She will always pick Bloody Mary, and I will explain you how you can do this, and it's very easy. So that's actually the setup. So she is taking the card. We are not going to show the card to the audience. So I say, okay, keep that card for you and keep that cocktail in your mind. I put these cards away, and then of course, I have these PDFs printed, like you saw on the screen with all the cocktails. They are on every seat. And then I say, okay, let's do something in group. And then I give the instructions. I say, put your finger on one cocktail and so on and so on. And everybody in the room, everybody who followed the instructions correctly, of course, will end up on Bloody Mary. Yeah? And then I will say, okay, now everybody has a cocktail in mind. You, the volunteer, of course, you had a free choice. You saw it were all different cocktails. You had a free choice. You picked one cocktail. Yeah, or you can say, when it's a hypnosis demonstration, you can say your subconscious mind picked one cocktail. Now for the very first time, and then especially when you have a group, it's really interesting to say, everybody, okay, stand up. So the entire audience stands up, and then you say, okay, for the first time, what is the cocktail that you have in mind? Yeah. Then she will say Bloody Mary. And then you can say to the audience, okay, now everybody who landed on Bloody Mary, please sit down. And everybody who did, and most of the people will, sometimes, especially when you're performing or presenting for an international audience, sometimes people didn't get the instructions because of the language, but most of the people will sit down. So it's a very visual effect to do for a group of people. And then, of course, you can say, okay, now I want you to take your cell phones, go to, and I did this 2 years ago in Hypnotherapists. That's where I used the Bloody Mary thing. You can use other teams, of course. But over there, I said, okay, I want you all to go to my Facebook page. And on my Facebook page, there was a picture of a Bloody Mary. And that said, I will buy the lady that helped me a Bloody Mary tonight at the Alligator Bar. That's the bar where at night everybody is gathering. So everybody saw that on my Facebook. It was posted like an hour before my lecture, so they know that I didn't have a chance to change it. So it was a prediction. So there were actually 3 effects going on. She selected a cocktail. Everybody was landing on that cocktail, and I predicted it already an hour before. So actually the same what we did now without the selecting of the cards. So I'm going to explain you how you do the force with the volunteer. And then I'm going to explain you why everybody is landing on that Bloody Mary. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So the forcing is quite simple. It's called a 50-50 force. And I make it always with my own business cards. These are the cheapest business cards that you can get, because they are just cardboard, printed only one side, because I want to be able to write on them. I have like 5,000 here, and I always use them when I want to create something. It's really easy, especially when you do corporate work. Then you can create the same trick as this, but in a team of that that business, of course, you can adapt it, and it's very easy to have those type of cards then. So what I actually did is I wrote, the camera is, I wrote some cards, as I showed you before, with different cocktails on it. So actually the first half has different cocktails on it. Yeah, okay, so all different. And that's actually what I show. And then I know I have to stop at pina colada, and then I stop, yeah, I show them. So in their mind, they're all different. Then I turn the stack and I fan the stack, yeah, but I only fan the top part. And of course, those are all Bloody Mary. Every single card is Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Yeah? And it's half-half. And what I do to make it even easier for me so that I can't make a mistake, what I do is, especially with this card, it's very good because my logo is on there, and I put the Bloody Mary cards on top, but in a different direction. You can see, so these cards are in this direction, and I put the Bloody Marys, now I do the same, of course, like this, you can see, like this. So now I know, while I'm fanning, I don't have to count or anything, I just fan those cards. Let me do it like this, just fan those cards, yeah. And I know the moment when it changed, you can see it's changing here because now they are in a different direction. Nobody sees, especially there's only one spectator or one volunteer up front to do this. Yeah, and then you just fan this and you say, okay, just pick one card. And and sometimes, especially when you do this for the very first time, you are a bit, oh, maybe she's gonna see, or maybe sometimes you have those type of people and you fan this and then they want to grab in this stack. Normally they don't, especially when you use women. They are much more bold than men, but there is a little trick that you can do. What I sometimes do is I fan the cards and I say, okay, turn around, turn your back, and just grab with your hand and let your subconscious mind grab a card so that you don't do it on a conscious level. And then they look away and they only can grab in the stack that only has Bloody Mary on it. So this is called the 50-50 force. The only thing you need, I think it's 7-7, so 14 cards, 7 with Bloody Mary on and 7 with indifferent cocktails on. So that is the 50-50 force, and you can use it for everything. You can use whatever you want to write down on those cards. If anybody has a question about this force, maybe it's a good idea that we do questions. Okay, no, it says make sense. Yeah. Okay, so it's really easy, and of course you have to. It's not really practice, but you have to get used to do this and be bold. Don't overthink it. Just do it as if it's really. And of course, the only thing that you can't do is go too far. And keep in mind that pina colada is the one that you have to stop, because here then they will see that Bloody Mary and it will be upside down. So just do like this, and then you don't have to go through the entire stack to get people programmed. Actually, that's what you do. You program their mind that all the cards are different, and after a while, they already forgot, or they even don't see that you have much more cards, because and also you have to remember that the person that is up there with you in front of the audience, because this is something you do for an audience, she is not used to be there. Maybe you are used to be in front of an audience, but she is not. So she's not going to be that annoying person that wants to do something. No, she just wants to do whatever you say to get to her share as soon as possible, because she's not used to be up front in the audience. So, okay, no questions about this force. Let's go to the walk, the actual walk. So what I did is, you have to, and you will get this PDF, so you can actually perform this Bloody Mary cocktail force with that PDF. But of course, you can create your own. And later I will talk about ideas that you can use to do your own creation. So what you actually have to do is first and the easiest thing is just to do it always the same. Put your force in the last column. Yeah. So we are working with letters now. You can work with colors, you can work with numbers, you can do whatever. But the idea actually is, for the ones who are interested in recreating this, I will later share you a link where you can get these slides as well, so you can recreate it for yourself. So the first thing that you need to do is, because you want them to be able to start wherever they want, you just say to them, put your finger on a cocktail, okay? And now what I want them to do, and I will show you the slide again so that you can see. The first thing is I want them to get out of the column with the force in. So I'm gonna cut to that thing again. So the first instruction was, let me take the instructions, move to a cocktail with the letter E in it. And you will see that in this column, yeah, in the right column, Tom Collins, Bloody Mary, Whiskey Sour, Mojito, there is no E in those words. So everybody will go out of that column. Then the second instruction is to make sure to get them out of row 2 and 3. So you want them to go to the first row or to the last row. So you just gonna say, go to a cocktail vertically to a cocktail with the letter U in it. So let me go back to, yeah. So let's pretend they started on Kir Royale, and then they went to a cocktail with an E in it, Frozen Matador maybe. They just go left. And then you say, go to a cocktail with an U in. Go vertically to a cocktail with a U in. So there is no U in the entire second row and the entire third row. There's no U in any of those cocktails. Yeah, only in Whiskey Sour, but that's in the 5th column, so they can't go there because nobody is in that column anymore. So they are going always to the first column, and you will see Daiquiri, there's a U in it, Ramurner, even 2, Funny Bunny 2, White Russian, and also Surfing Safari is a U in Tequila, Cuba Libre, and Purple Rain. So everybody will, after this instruction, everybody will be in the first row or the last row. And now you want them to go to the last column. So you say, go horizontally to a cocktail with the letter O in it. And then you will see that in the first row, there's only an O in the last column. So Tom Collins, there is an O in it. In the last row, there's only an O, also again in the 5th column, Mojito. And then you say go vertically to a cocktail with the letter A, and then they only can go in the last column, of course, and they will all end up in Bloody Mary. So if you want to create your own with your own words, sometimes it's a bit like a puzzle. Then you just have to follow those things, and then you know that you can create something. So we go over it again. The first thing that you have to make sure is to get them out of the column with the force in. Yeah? Then get them out of row 2 and 3. Then again, lead them to column 5, and then send them to the force in that column. So with those steps, you can create your own. And then of course you have to, because I had to do some search to find cocktails with the right letters and things like that. So it's a bit of a puzzle if you want to create your own, but it's quite easy once you understand the method that is going on here. So any questions about this? No questions? Okay. So then let's go to I have to switch again. Again, slide. So of course, having a prediction, will it work with super smart people? Yeah, it will. It will. Because they don't have the time to think about it. Because you have to imagine, this is, you do this for a group of people. So they are there, and then you first do something with the lady up front. You do the force with the lady. They are watching it, and they see somebody with a cocktail in their mind. Yeah? And then you say, okay, now there is a paper on your chair, or you hand out the paper, and you just say, okay, you see cocktails. Yeah? In this context, you see cocktails. Okay, just put your finger on one cocktail. And now follow. So they don't have the time to watch at it and to see that they're only used. No, they don't have the time for it. They just follow your instructions, and then they all end up a Bloody Mary, and everybody will sit down the moment that you say sit down if you're landed on Bloody Mary. So maybe later when and it's not a problem that they take the paper, because one of the things that I do, I put my contact details on that paper. Of course, I want them to take the paper home, and if they just start looking at it, and most of the time they don't do it, and even if they do it, it's no problem that they but they don't remember the instructions anymore, because you don't give them the instructions, you have set the instructions. So it's really hard to track back, and even if they don't, I actually don't care, because they know it's all a trick. Of course, there's something. Will it work with super smart people? Their social brain will be engaged. Yeah, of course, yeah, it will work. It will work. Their social brain will be engaged. Yeah, they just follow the instructions, and it will work. No worries about that. And especially it's in group, so that's always good. So why I put whenever you do something with a prediction, it's always good to put it on one of your social media pages. Most of the time I use my Facebook page, because most of the people have Facebook. Most of the people have their smartphone with them. It's very good thing these days. And then you can just say, okay, open your smartphone, go to my Facebook page. Of course, now I was able to share the link. That's the good thing of working online. But in a room, you just, or you put it on your PowerPoint presentation, or you just say, type in European Hypnosis Academy, or whatever your brand name is, go to that Facebook page, look at the picture that I posted, and while you're there, click on like. So you will get more likes on your Facebook page. So it's a very interactive thing. You send them to your Facebook page for that prediction. And they are there. They can put on like, and you get more followers on your Facebook page. So it's actually a win-win thing that you can use. So any questions about the trick or the entire trick, or about mentalism in general? No. Let me show you where you can find I will share the link as well. So when you go to our European Hypnosis Academy.com/FredTalk. When you go to that page, you can fill in your email address, and then I will send you the download of the PDF. So the PDF that you can use for the Bloody Mary force. And there will also the slides that I showed you now will be there also to download, and then you can perform this or recreate this trick. So somebody is asking about my book. I will talk about my book in a few moments. Some ideas that you can do. You will see in my book, this is also explained. This trick is also explained. And in my book, I called it a walkthrough therapy. So that is even better for hypnotherapists to do. So you will see there is a PDF, and also in the book there is a link to download that PDF. There is a PDF with all different types of therapy. Yeah. I actually can show it to you. I have the book here. Let me see. It's So it's look like this. Can you? Yeah. It's all different types of therapy. Yeah, like Bach, psychotherapy, coaching, mindfulness, and so on and so on. And you will lead them to hypnotherapy. Yeah. Okay, so you will lead them to hypnotherapy, and then of course that's, or you can work with brand names, and you lead them all to your brand. One thing that I was thinking about this morning, actually in the shower, that's a very good place to get new ideas, is you can also put all different telephone numbers on it. Yeah, and then you can lead them by number. You can say, now go to a telephone number with a 6 in it or whatever. So I probably gonna create it anyway, but it's a bit difficult to create it for general, because I will use it with my telephone number, of course. But you can create it so that they will end on your telephone number, and then you can say, okay, now take your and you can do it with everybody in the audience actually. Take your telephone, type in the number, and call that number. Yeah, they call that number, and you're not going to pick up your phone. You can have your phone ringing. The first one is coming through, it's ringing. All the rest will go onto voicemail. They hear your voice. Yeah, and then you can say, okay, I'm not going to answer this phone. It's actually my phone number. Everybody landed on my phone number. And what I want you to do now is take your cell phone, and the last number that you called is my number, and make a contact of it and say Rob the hypnotherapist. And whenever you need me, you have my number in your phone. So it's actually a great way to have a lot of people putting your contact details as a hypnotherapist in their phone. And maybe 1 year later or 5 years later, they need something. They have something that they want to change, and they remember that night that you have everybody going to their to your phone number, and it's still in their contact details. That's something that I came up this morning while I was overthinking what I'm all going to say to you guys. So I think that's a good idea to do, and to have people get informed about your number. So I'm going to the wrong one. Let me go to this. Oops. Okay. Okay. I thought I had a slide about my book as well, but actually I don't have it here. So I'm going to show you my book. There is, of course, you have the paperback, but there is also an ebook. The paperback you can find on Amazon. So there are a lot of tricks. It's actually a basic training in mentalism. And at the end, there are some routines by guests, by quite some famous mentalists who all were happy to give me one of their routines to put in my book. But I will also give you a link where you can buy the ebook. Just 1 second. Yeah, I will post that here. So this is the place where you can buy my ebook. The ebook normally costs 30 euros. Or whatever that is in your currency. And I had, but I thought it was on the slides, but I probably forgot it. I had a coupon code created, so I will send you the coupon code. So everybody who is watching this FredTalk will get a discount. So just let me find the coupon code. Okay, oh, it's easy. So the coupon code is, okay, voila, this is the coupon code. So FT10, and then you will get a 10 euro discount. So you can buy actually the ebook for 20 euros. It's really cheap because normally magic books, mentalism books with secrets in are much more expensive. No, the coupon code is not working on Amazon. It's only for the ebook. the ebook yet. But so for everybody who's purchasing the ebook, yeah, and whenever you, and I hope it will be in the near future, but also the UK Hypnosis convention is not going through this year, but whenever you see me at a convention and you want the actual paperback, just come to me and say, hey Rob, I purchased the ebook for €20, and then you will get the paperback with a €20 discount. So whenever you see me, you can get the paperback as well. But for now, it's you can get the ebook. So are there any questions? Maybe Freddie has a question. Freddie, maybe you can come in, and if we still have like 30 minutes.
No, I've just been listening, Rob. I've been making sending things in the chat box, but I think I've been going to one person instead of everyone.
Yeah, I think I did it first. Also, you have to select all panelists and attendees.
Yeah, but no, it's great. And I mean, I've only got two kind of tricks that I do, but like you say, it's an opener. It's a way of softening people, and especially if you're out talking about hypnosis. You're in a restaurant. If you can just have one thing that you can do, it just breaks the ice with people, as you said.
Yeah, and you don't need an entire performance for like half an hour. Just something to break the ice. Something really simple, like even this little force is enough. You can just without the entire thing with the Bloody Mary, you can use this just to force a thought in somebody's mind, and then do something like, okay, I'm thinking of it, and then just perform that you are reading their minds. So you don't have to learn all different sleight of hands. Just a little trick can do it. Yeah.
I mean, and it leads nicely into some hypno demonstrations, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I think you're right at the beginning when you said if you're doing hypnosis or hypnotherapy. Because I think a lot of hypnotherapists think, well, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a therapist, so I stay away from any kind of showy stuff. But the truth is, if you can demonstrate things, even if you say it's a finger lock or magnetic fingers or a trick like you've just done there, it just breaks the ice with people. And that can lead nicely into, if you did the Bloody Mary mind read that you've just done, that will lead nicely into, let me show you something else interesting about the power of the mind. And then you can do a finger lock. And then you've already spread it into hypnotic phenomena. So I think what you're saying, and the idea of which you came up in the shower with this morning, you have your ideas in your shower. I tend to have them in my sleep.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's also good.
And then try and hold on.
As long as we have ideas, that's good.
Yeah. So that idea of doing force with your number on is phenomenal. I think that's a great idea, because as you say, they've now got your number in their phone, which is great.
Yeah, but there is another in my book. There's another trick called toxic, and that's also something that you can use, but it's more for individual, that you can use to put your number into people's cell phone. And actually, one of my artists who used to work for me, he was also my stage guy for my hypnosis show. He used it many years ago. He used it to do that trick with a very pretty girl in a bar, and then she has his phone his phone number in her cell phone, and he said, whenever you want to go out with me, yeah, my number is already in your phone. So you can use it for many different things, not only to get more business.
Yeah, that's a great idea. As I say, to get your number out there. But the idea of getting people to your website when you're working with it online as well, all those things which are going to make people have your details, and it all works towards where you want to be in your business.
Yep,
opening their minds up, like you said. And there's some simple things you can learn, which don't take, like you say, skills of sleight of hand. The things that just work.
Yep.
And I think
that's the reason why I wrote a book, and why I created those package tricks. I don't want to create things for magicians. There's already enough for magicians, and I'm not good in sleight of hands, but I want to create tricks for hypnotherapists that are easy to perform and give this wow effect, but still easy to perform.
Yeah, yeah. And I say, I would suggest to everyone listening, you know, for what you're asking for your book, to go and get it. I believe we had an exchange of books. I know that was the book you gave me now.
Yeah.
So we had an exchange of books at the last conference, the last London conference. But I think everyone should learn just a couple. Even, you know, I know a lot of people, once they've read your book, will get caught up in it. I now want to learn a lot more because it's just good fun. And it's something other than hypnosis. So I suggest to everyone that's watching this, go and get Rob's book and try and catch up at the conference and squeeze another 20 euros out of him, get his other book and get that cheaper as well.
Yeah.
And then he's got to sign it as well, then it's worth another.
Yeah, then it's
2 euros.
Yeah.
But look, you know, I want to really thank you, Rob, for doing this for us, and for everyone
my pleasure.
for coming on and doing this for us. And you know, I look forward to seeing you again soon in the real world.
Yeah, I hope we still can go to Hypnotherapists, but I'm doubting that that's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, my airline's cancelled my flight, so
it's already cancelled. Oh,
they've cancelled my flights. I mean, if it's on, I'm going to rebook it and
yeah. Yeah, I already booked my flight when I left to Australia, but I didn't. I'm flying with American Air, no, United, but I didn't get any notice at the moment. But
they're the only. They seem to be the only convention that's hanging on by their teeth. They're not going to cancel you.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
you're making. I hope. I look forward to seeing you in the alligator bar.
Yeah, of course. We can drink a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. But look, is anyone wants to ask any questions, Rob? I'm taking up all this time here. But if anyone's got any questions, Rob?
I see somebody asking, what is the Swan? The Swan is actually something that Bob Burns created. I do that training here in the Dutch language for him. So you just can go and Google and search Bob Burns the Swan, and you will find it. I see somebody from Russia here. They say in Russia people run from an offering of hypnotherapy, just like in Belgium. Yep. That's. But
again, you know, even if you're in Russia, you can get into them with some mentalism or magic tricks, and then lead into hypnosis. But you don't even have to say it's hypnosis. You can just say it's showing you the power of the mind.
Oh, this is a nice question. Is there an actual mentalism like Paul Ekman? Of course. Paul Ekman is more specialized in the things that going in the faces, so the micro expressions. You can use those things but they are not 100% accurate. So then you have to be really bold and train yourself to see those micro expressions as body language, and then you can be accurate, but it's never going to be 100%. With this, what is a trick, of course, I always am sure that she has Bloody Mary in her mind. So with those type of, also with those, there are 3 books written by Banachek, really interesting, Psychological Subtleties. And there are some things in that you can use, but again, there is no, it's the same like when you ask a group of people to stand up and say, everybody think on a number between 1 and 10. And then you say, everybody who's thinking of the number 7, sit down. And you will see that almost 60% of the people will sit down. A lot of people will think of the number 7. It's something going on in their mind. But of course, it's not a 100% hit every time, because you're not using a trick, you're using psychology. So that's what Paul Ekman, is the micro expressions. That's something else.
Can I just before we finish, I'd just like to tell everyone that's watching this and those who are going to watch that Rob's a phenomenal hypnotherapist, does incredible change work, and he does it very, very rapidly. So I would ask, get you all to visit Rob's website. If you do anything to do with hypnosis, hypnotherapy, visit Rob's site, because he is a brilliant man. His ideas are great, and the way he works is exceptional. So that's all I can say, really. And to thank Rob once again for doing this for us, and say hopefully we'll meet again soon in the real world.
Yeah, I just shared the link to our online academy actually, and also with a coupon code for 25% discount on some of our trainings. One of the trainings is my fast and powerful inductions, where I teach like 22 different inductions. Also some black room symbology trainings, all with a 25% discount. So it's also in the chat box now.
Oh, although there's, you know, the number of people that are actually watching this right here live, there's over 100 people that registered for this. So what I will do, I have their emails. If it's okay, I'll share all those links with the people.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And you know, and get them to your site with the ideas and the discounts you've offered.
Yep.
Okay.
That's great.
I hate to rush people off this, but I've organised a free pain control webinar at 8, and I didn't realise when I booked you for 7 that was happening.
It's enough. We have when I do this at convention is also an hour or 50 minutes, so it's just enough to inform people about this. And if they want to learn more, this is the book.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, Rob.
Okay.
Bye.
Fred, hope to see you soon, and everybody have a very good night. And
stay well.
See you somewhere in the world.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks again, Rob. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care.